Democratic Congressman Adam Smith, who's the ranking member of the House Armed Services Committee, was in that briefing, joins me now from the Capitol. Congressman, what, if anything, are you expecting to hear from the president at the top of the hour regarding U.S. military action near Venezuela?
Well, I think we don't know. I mean, that's what's so strange about this. We don't have a clear idea of where he's headed. Not sure that he does. What I expect to hear, though, is strong condemnation of President Maduro, strong condemnation of drug traffickers, sort of a justification for his actions to date. And as far as whether or not he's going to say what he's going to do next, I don't know. I think one of the big things, if we're going to be blockading Venezuela, that's an act of war. By definition, and something that Congress should have to approve, and certainly the president should go in detail to explain. And I don't know what it is that Venezuela supposedly took from us, unless we claim some right to the oil that's on their land. So that sentence doesn't make sense. Hopefully he will explain that, but we've all seen the president speak. I don't know that he's going to be that clear on those issues.
We literally just learned moments ago in an announcement from Southern Command that the U.S. has struck another alleged drug boat in the Eastern Pacific. They've released this video, they say it's unclassified, of showing it being a hit. 4 people were killed, according to Southern Command, which says the strike was on the orders of Secretary Hegseth. What do you make? I mean, do you believe the objective of these strikes is stopping the flow of drugs into America? Is it basically trying to incite the Venezuelan government? What is the point?
I don't think it's clear. In my opinion, I think this is more about two big things. One, Trump wants to drive Maduro out of power. You saw it with Susie Wiles' comments that basically he's going to blow up as many drug boats as he can until Maduro says uncle. So it certainly seems to be more focused on regime change in Venezuela than on actually impacting the drug trade in the United States of America. And that sort of makes sense. I mean, we're blowing up boats full of cocaine, most of which, according to the intel I've seen, are likely headed to West Africa or Europe, not to the U.S. And keep in mind, this is cocaine. The great killer in the United States right now is fentanyl. If you were really going after all of the deaths and the major problems we have in the U.S., you would be focused on that. Instead, they're focused on cocaine, and they're focused on these boats just off of Venezuela. So it seems likely that this is much more about Venezuela, but I think there's a big, broader issue. Look, if you saw the national security strategy that President Trump put out over a week ago now, it was very focused on the Monroe Doctrine, the idea that the U.S. should dominate the Western Hemisphere. And I think President Trump is trying to assert that dominance and also trying to assert his own power as president. Because keep in mind, none of this is congressionally approved. We got briefed by Admiral Bradley today. He talked, as he has before, about the fact that he has given orders on hundreds of strikes like this. He was active, certainly, in the Iraq campaign, Afghanistan. But all of those prior strikes were connected to congressional approval. This one is just President Trump acting on his own, starting a war with apparently 24 different drug trafficking organizations and Venezuela. That is an incredible expansion of presidential power, and I think a violation of the Constitution.
In terms of the incident on September 2nd, I mean, is there going to be any movement on that, or do you think it is over, essentially? The look into it, is the administration just trying to move on as quickly as possible?
But they're trying to move on, but I don't intend to let them, and I know a lot of members of Congress don't. First of all, the fact that they've released yet another video, which you've just shown of the strike tonight, points out just the unbelievable dishonesty of Secretary Hegseth in saying that he can't release the video of this second strike because of national security and sensitive information reasons, or classified information, I should say. That's just nonsense. I mean, they've released, gosh, I don't know how many videos at this point, 15 or 18. It's easy to edit this video down so that it's not releasing any classified information. They're not releasing this video because they know it makes them look bad. They know it basically undercuts a lot of the dishonest arguments that Secretary Hegseth has been making about what happened in this strike, and they ought to release that video. And the second big thing about this is the justification for this, the execute order that the White House gave to the Department of Defense that gave Admiral Bradley his incredibly broad rules of engagement. That, too, has not been submitted to Congress. That's the justification that was so broad that we deserve a chance to see. So I'm going to keep pushing it. I know a lot of other members are. At a minimum, there ought to be a public hearing. this is a major use of the United States military to kill people and potentially start a war, Secretary Hegseth ought to come before Congress and say, this is what we're doing and this is why.
Yeah. Congressman Adam Smith, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thanks, Anderson.